a Rangers veteran shown the door. A £10 million disaster exposed, whispers of betrayal inside the dressing room, and a secret agent Raskin transfer plot that could bring big names to Ibrox. Oh, and the 49ers are about to take over the club in a move that could shake the very foundations of Scottish football. Want to see these and more Rangers news? Stay until the end. We are the people. Leon Balogun, a man who's given his all in royal blue, might just be writing the final chapter of his Rangers story. A stalwart at the back in spells, Balogun's been handed a surprising run in the side under Barry Ferguson, featuring in 5 of the last 6 matches and starting the last 3. But after a ropey showing against Dundee, where he was hooked at half-time in that wild 4-3 win, his future at Ibrox looks shaky at best. Now, Derek Ferguson, brother of interim boss Barry, has come out and said what a lot of folk have been thinking. It's probably time for Balogun to move on. Speaking to Ibrox News, he didn't mince his words. Balogun, now 36 and nursing a growing injury record, might not be the man to anchor the backline any longer. According to Ferguson, Rangers should be targeting a younger, quicker, more robust defender, someone who can deal with the pace of the modern game and command the air like a lighthouse in the fog. Let's not forget, Balogun's made 24 appearances across all competitions this season, 16 in the league, 5 in Europe, a couple in the League Cup, and even that brief Champions League qualifier cameo. He's been valuable, aye, but there's a sense he's nearing the end of the road. His contract's up in July, and it's looking less and less likely that he'll be handed a new one. And here's the thing, this summer won't be about sentiment. There are a handful of players heading for the door, whether out of contract or returning from loan spells. The recruitment teams got their work cut out because finding a centre-back who combines pace, presence, and experience isn't exactly like picking up a Scotch pie at the kiosk. It's hard graft, but it needs done if we want to keep progressing. Now tell me this, should Rangers show loyalty to Balogun for his service and hand him a new deal, or is keeping a 36-year-old injury-prone centre-back the kind of sentiment that's holding us back while Celtic laugh their way to another title? Rangers might just have a secret weapon in their transfer arsenal, and his name's Nico Raskin. Now, you've probably seen all the noise about Raskin maybe being on his way out, with whispers of a £10 million fee being too tempting to pass up. But while folk are busy debating his future, the Belgian midfielder might be doing a wee transfer job of his own behind the scenes. During the recent international break, Raskin turned out for Belgium, and according to Derek Ferguson, he could be using that time in camp to sell the Rangers' dream to some of his talented teammates. And let's be clear, Belgium's squad is no joke. You've got Champions League regulars, top-tier talent, lads who'd normally never think twice about Scottish football. But when you've got someone like Raskin talking about Ibrox, about the passion, the intensity, the full-on 24/7 nature of playing for this club, it pricks up ears. Ferguson reckons Raskin's been giving glowing reports. Maybe not about the weather, but certainly about the size of the club, the standard of football, and the sheer expectation that comes with pulling on that shirt. And for certain players, the ones who thrive under pressure, that's catnip. Let's not pretend we're about to see De Bruyne or Lukaku rocking up at Ibrox, but there are plenty in that Belgium squad who'd improve this Rangers side tenfold. And if Raskin's opening the door even just a wee bit, you better believe the recruitment team will be ready to walk through it. Of course, there's still the matter of keeping Raskin himself. 27 league appearances this season, 23 starts, 1 goal, 6 assists. It's not bad going for a lad who's still developing. If someone comes in with a £10 million bid this summer, it might be tough to say no. But imagine if we held on just 1 more year, pushed for silverware, and then cashed in next summer. If a Belgian international recommended by Raskin himself wants to join Rangers, but we need to sell Raskin to make it happen? Would you take that deal, or is selling our best midfielder to sign someone unproven a risk, not worth taking while Celtic sit back and laugh? Barry Ferguson walked back into Ibrox with fire in his belly and the badge stitched into his soul. Since taking over from Philippe Clement, he's dragged this Rangers side into the quarterfinals of Europe and steadied the domestic ship, at least on the surface. But beneath the skin of those results, a much more worrying pattern is starting to emerge. Let's call a spade a spade. The 4-3 win over Dundee should have been a routine job. Instead, we found ourselves 2 goals down, not once but twice, against a team sitting in 11th place. We had more possession, more shots, more quality on paper, but that's the problem. It's only ever on paper with this lot. Ferguson's brought passion, leadership, and a sense of identity. But what good is that when you've got players who crumble the moment you start believing in? As Scott McDermott put it, this isn't a squad you trust. They'll throw you under the bus the minute you start thinking they've turned the corner. And isn't that just the most damning thing you can say about a Rangers team? This isn't about ability, it's about mentality. And this squad, far too often, shows the kind of soft underbelly that gets you nowhere in Glasgow. It's stop-start week in, week out. And Ferguson, for all his qualities and love for the club, might be walking into a trap if he's thinking about taking the job permanently. The 49ers enterprises could soon be at the wheel, and with that comes an injection of cash and expectation. If that takeover goes through, you'd better believe there'll be sweeping changes, new gaffer, new players, maybe even a new direction. But what happens in the meantime? Are we just waiting for these players to collapse again in a big moment? If Barry Ferguson gets the Rangers job full-time, and this current crop of players down tools the second he's appointed, would that not be the ultimate betrayal? Not just of Ferguson, but of everything this club stands for. There was a time when Ryan Kent was the golden boy of Ibrox. A £10 million bid from Leeds United sat on the table, Rangers held firm, and you were told we had a gem worth even more. Fast forward a few years, and Kent's now heading to the MLS to try and patch together a career that's been in free fall since he walked out of Glasgow. Let's be honest, it looked like a fairy tale waiting to be written. Injuries piling up, Rabbi Matondo out the door on loan, Oscar Cortez hobbling his way through rehab. The stars were aligning for a Ryan Kent return, and yet nothing came of it. Philippe Clement never pulled the trigger, and now we know why. Kent's been without a club since October. That's nearly half a season, sitting on the sidelines while his career crumbles. Reports in Turkey claim he snubbed a return to Rangers last summer. If true, that might be the worst decision he's made since refusing to pass the ball in a 3-on-1 at Pittodrie. Then came the Mourinho episode. The special one arrives at Fenerbahce, takes one look at Kent, and reportedly tells him straight, "I will never let you play. Not you need to improve or you're part of my plans, no. Just a cold, brutal shutdown." Mourinho didn't even rate him enough to pretend. Kent's numbers have been dire. 7 goals across 4 seasons. Let that sink in. For a winger, that's nowhere near good enough. Even Matondo, who's barely been upright long enough to tie his laces, managed 6 last year. Abdallah Seamer's raised the bar. Václav Cerny's raised it higher. Kent, by comparison, just doesn't belong in the conversation anymore, and yet Rangers turned down £10 million. Imagine where that money could have gone. A striker, a centre-back, 2 midfielders. It's one of the biggest financial missteps in recent memory, especially when Kent's wage was reportedly one of the highest at the club. Sure, the work rate was there, the tracking back, the pressing, but you don't pay top dollar for a winger to be a glorified fullback. You pay for goals, you pay for assists, and Kent just never delivered enough. Was holding on to Kent instead of cashing in for £10 million, one of the worst transfer decisions Rangers have made in the last decade? Or was it justified based on what he might have been, even if that potential never truly arrived. It's happening. The 49ers takeover at Rangers is finally on the brink of becoming reality, and if the latest reports are anything to go by, Paraag Marathe and Andrew Cavenagh could have legal approval to seal the deal by the end of April. That's right. You might be witnessing the dawn of a new era at Ibrox, faster than anyone predicted. Now, let's not pretend this hasn't been bubbling for a while. The whispers started, the speculation built, but now it's all accelerating. According to finance expert Dan Plumley, this speed is quicker than expected and it's all shaping up to be a huge moment, not just for Rangers, but for Scottish football. Here's the real kicker. This takeover isn't just a change of ownership, it's a total reset, a clean slate. The Americans aren't coming in to tinker at the edges, they're here to transform. That means proper investment in the squad, structure in the boardroom, and maybe, just maybe, a long overdue ruthlessness when it comes to ambition. No more half measures, no more letting Celtic laugh while we argue over whether we need another loan signing or if Scott Wright can do a job on the wing. And if this gets done before the summer, it's a game changer. New manager, fresh budget, full pre-season, the kind of preparation we've desperately lacked while Celtic have enjoyed years of stability and silverware. Meanwhile, the shareholder landscape is about to get ripped up. Dave King, Douglas Park, George Taylor, all of them holding their slices of the pie. But with the 49ers enterprises stepping in, you can expect a full reshuffle, one that puts decision-making in firmer, more professional hands. If the Americans do take full control, inject millions into the club, and start calling the shots, should you expect silverware immediately, or will demanding trophies right away risk repeating the same short-term mistakes that have plagued us since 2012? If you haven't seen yesterday's video yet, you're missing out. Explosive news about Rangers that'll leave every fan stunned. Go check it out now.